So one of the biggest issues with 5G is the fact that it's going into the gigahertz frequency ranges that are, it goes from, I think it's 5 gigahertz to 100 gigahertz, where the mobile towers, the mobile phones, wireless, internet, etc. is below that.
CEO of Verizon, I've emailed all of you about a dozen times now, studies related to 5G, information related to privacy and surveillance concerns about 5G, but I'm just being met with silence, and I've invited all of you to come on to 90.1 KPFT. So far, no responses. Thankfully, Isaiah Carey, local news, did actually cover this story, and it's been seen 30,000 plus times by people on Facebook who are very concerned. So since you guys aren't interested, I just want to talk directly to the people of Houston and anybody who's seeing this video. Please email the city council members, call them, any lawyers who are interested in taking this case up, because the city is just rushing forward. The mayor doesn't seem concerned. They're very closely tied to Verizon, and there are health concerns. There are surveillance and privacy concerns that need to be addressed. If you care about this issue, please go ahead and email and call this body that claims to care about the will of the voters, because they are not responding to emails or journalistic or health concerns, despite health concerns from DC, from Michigan, from other places. So
the big game changer is that 5G will use much higher frequency bands than previously thought viable for mobile broadband and other applications. Such millimeter wave signals have physical properties that are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well. But brilliant engineers have developed new antennas that can aim and amplify signals. Now, to make this work, the 5G build-out is going to be very infrastructure intensive, requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses, and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators to define the future. We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. Ask a question. We'll start with you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Sir.
You needn't egg me on this one. Moments ago, I was attempting to talk to some people who came to attend the meeting and have concerns about radiation and 5G, and one of your security force intervened, told the guy he couldn't show me the T-shirt that he had wished to display at the meeting, forced him to put it away, and confiscated my FCC-issued ID. Is this consonant with the discussion that ought to be taking place here, and what's your reaction to this action by your staff?
I've just heard about it for the first time, Todd. I mean, obviously this is an open meeting, and I'm sure that if your credentials have been mistakenly taken, you will get them back. But there is a responsibility for everybody who comes here to behave responsibly. By approving the Spectrum Frontiers Order, the United States becomes the first country in the world to identify and open up vast amounts of high-frequency spectrum for 5G networks and applications. This is the most significant step yet. And our BDS proceeding is dealing with that issue.
Lydia.
Hey Tom, with the
Hi, Lydia.
study showing wireless causes cancer subthermally, how can you proceed with more wireless expansion with our 6D standards only recognizing thermal effects, ignoring validated studies showing cancerous effects, neurological effects, reproductive harm?
Lydia, do you have a question?
I do have a question, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
I'll answer your question, Lydia.
Lydia Bayard, Bloomberg BNA.
One moment, please. Councilmember Starter.
I think you've been here before, and I thought the mayor was here the first time you spoke.
This is the third or fourth time I've come on 5G, and you, along with Jack Christie, were the only ones that seemed to inquire at all. But as I just stated, I've emailed you guys yesterday, I've emailed you several times last week, and every week leading up to my visits with the health studies from Kaiser Permanente, the studies from the National Toxicology Program, from the concerns from the American Civil Liberties Union, and nobody's responding. So I don't know if it's going into your spam box or if your aides aren't reading them and showing them to you, but there are plenty of people concerned, both in Houston and abroad, who are expressing their concerns online. And every video I've done, every city council visit, people respond. They want to know more about this. They want to know why there wasn't a environmental impact study, why there wasn't a comment period for the people of Houston, why this $1 million, maybe $1 billion deal between the city of Houston and Verizon is just rushing forward without any say from the people.
Mayor Patim, I think the mayor was going to look into, I thought he was going to follow up. Has there anything been?
I'm not advised. We'll have to wait until he returns.
Okay.
I'll come back next week if the mayor will be here next week. We can talk again then.
It's a week after.
A week after?
Right.
All
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving, I guess, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for your time again. Like I said, I'm not trying to come here antagonistically to anybody, but when I met with Silence time and time after again, and we have a platform, 90.1 KPFT, you guys know where it's at. We would love to have any of you on board to come speak about this. So please take the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Military industrial complex, they have, produced more than 8,500 different documents where they are basically patented specific frequencies at specific pulse ranges with all kinds of, it's the military, with all kinds of effects of, going everywhere from killing people to putting voices in their heads and they think they're talking to God, to the devil come in and talk to them in their heads, to crowd control, mind control, manipulations, causing cancer within a human being in human tissue like this, infertility, all that stuff. It's all been patented by the military. These frequencies are well known. The scary part about 5G is that 5G is within the frequency bandwidth of all those patents. So basically, if you're living in a city that has 5G, antennas everywhere, who is stopping them from transmitting these frequencies to targeted individuals or to the whole city? So, we hear about cyber attacks all the time. And what is to say that, for example, another country hacks into the 5G network system and suddenly want to influence a whole city of millions of people and they go crazy and etc. Now, the other thing with 5G, with the higher frequencies, is if you look at a piano, you actually have the same octave within the piano, it goes up in several levels. So from one octave to another octave to another octave to another octave. What happens with the octaves in microwave radiation is the best way I can describe it is like if you take a tone, an opera singer that sings to this wine glass. If they can sing in a specific tone and makes it vibrate at a certain level, then after some time, a couple of minutes, it breaks. Now, the same octave higher, the glass will break too, but faster. The same octave higher and higher and higher. And so if you go up in really high octaves, the glass will break almost instantly. The problem with 5G is that it's many octaves higher than the wireless radiation we're having right now, the mobile phone towers, etc. So the disease is that it's completely verified now that EMF radiation from mobile towers, etc., takes about 5 years to kick in. After 5 years, people have all kinds of cancers and all kinds of problems. With 5G, it's going to take 5 months. We're going to die much faster from this. So we're going to see a huge health crisis in the Western world beyond what we have seen so far with the 5G antennas. And of course they're not going to tell you about this because this is a part of the whole agenda of mass control and depopulation agendas. So as you might have noticed, I feel pretty passionate about this topic. I feel in many ways that we all need to raise our voices and speak up and at least educate ourselves and also educate everybody around us about these dangers. This is a real threat. This is a real problem. We have to deal with it. We have to look at it.